It's good to see y'all again. Um, so I thought I was originally gonna do like gameplay over this stuff and everything, but you know what? I realized that's a little too hard to try and figure all that out. So I just thought that I would just make a recording of me and my notes and kind of touch over the things that I kind of wanted to touch over. Now, this is only episode one. I only watched episode one. They're like 45 minutes each and everything like that. I would have had this out like yesterday, but my recording software just straight up wouldn't open, and I tried to fix it and was like, yeah, no, we're just going to take a day off then. Because I was super irritated, and I tried to record this before, and it just didn't work out. So today we're doing it much calmer. I did go ahead and rewatch the documentary again, at least again, episode one. We're only on episode one. I'll do a reactions to episode 2 and 3. Because it looks like there's only 3 parts, I think, as far as I can remember. But we'll react to that, and I'll just share my notes with y'all and everything, and we'll touch over everything that I want to touch over personally, because I felt like there were some really good good little things to talk over and everything like that. But I want to give a massive trigger warning. We will be touching over allegations over SA, non-consensual touching, food insecurities, body insecurities, and all that kind of stuff. So please go protect your peace. Go be kind to yourself. Go wash your face, brush your teeth, be kind to yourself, love yourself, because remember, you are important. I want to make sure that everyone's okay, because this, even for me, this is going to be a little bit much, but you know, it's going to be okay. But if you truly can't handle it, I understand. Please go take care of yourself. I'll put in the description another like feel good video of a creator that I enjoy and everything like that. So please go take care of yourself. Your mental health matters more than you watching a video of mine and potentially triggering yourself. So please, please, please go protect your peace. Please, just like, that's important to me. That y'all are important to me. I care about y'all's mental and everything like that. If you can't watch my video, I completely understand. So anyways, we're going to jump right in. And so I had no idea who this Stefan guy was at first. And so I bolded his little section from what I gathered from the first. Like, oh my god. So this was a kind of a hard watch, to be honest, because Stefan is kind of disgusting. Like, going into it, I knew he was a feeder and everything like that. So, yeah, Paradise is a cult, by the way. Like, he started this cult to have this harem of women, of plus-size women, right? That's what he wanted. That's what he wanted. And, you know, so Stefan, he lived in Berlin, Germany. And so at the time of the Paradise documentary, he's about in 2020, he's like his early mid 40s, right? So what, he's in his 50s now, I think, which they have him on the documentary. So I mean, the whole time I was thinking about, like, okay, Stefan, you were interviewed and so was Rosie, and that conversation happened in my last video. So I was a little like, okay, you were interviewed too for the Paradise documentary. What? You were like, there was no Rosie in that one. So I was like, there was I want to say maybe like snippet of Rosie. Like, she was in some of the pictures. No, she wasn't in some of the pictures. I don't know. I could be crazy. Big Beautiful Women, the BBW. Anyway, so he had always been into, I'm going to summarize some of this. I'll probably, it's not a video. It's not a Ray anyways video if I don't hit the mic with my hand by accident. Sorry, guys. This is a little all over the place because again, the documentary made me like very uncomfortable. But so like not a it just made me uncomfortable in a sense of what it covered, but I'm still gonna review it for you guys because it's very important topics. Anyway, so he moved to America back in 2004. So when he was a teenager, he knew he loved plus size girls, right? He knew he liked plus size girls. His mom was a home ec teacher, so his family was kind of like all about the health, all about being in shape and eating right and doing all that kind of stuff, right? Not really supportive. And that's when he was kind of like, I want to move out. Where can I move to? So he moved to to America for the quote land of the free, and there's big beautiful women. So he made that move in 2004. So Stefan's rich, right? We all know that Stefan's rich. He has this big house in Las Vegas or Paradise, Nevada. That's kind of close to it's kind of close to the Las Vegas and stuff like that. So he bought big ass house. It's like a 6-bedroom house. There's pool, hot tub. Looks like a really really nice house actually. There's a room for like an office and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of stuff. And so he like developed this chip inside of you can put into like your luxury convertibles, and you can drive and open up the top of the car and everything while you're driving, and you don't have to stop. So that's how I think that he got majority of his money. Anyway, so back whenever the COVID times, the lockdown happened, that's when Stefan went on TikTok, right? So he went on TikTok and he was like, oh, I like, plus size women. I like BBW women. If you can fit in the swimsuit, and it's a plus size swimsuit. Oh, come over to my house, like within a month. So he started first week, got like 1,000 followers. The next week he had like 5,000. And by the end of the month, he was inviting women to come over and stay at his house. I'm pausing. I'm pausing a little bit for dramatic effect, but that's not, because that's totally not creepy, right? That's totally not creepy. I'm laughing because again, I'm uncomfortable. But yeah, he just started inviting these people and everything, and like he was using the body positivity movement because that's when it kind of started to where bigger women, plus size women, who are all beautiful in their own right. They're all beautiful. They're actually gorgeous. But so creators like Piggy Stardust, at the time, she was one of the bigger, not Piggy Stardust. It was Tess Holiday. Tess Holiday was the big person, the bigger creator that she was the bigger creator that really kind of launched the body positivity movement, right? And so she was over here getting like modeling deals and stuff like that, and kind of pushing it out there that, hey, bigger bodies are beautiful. And I stand by that 100%. So, we'll get back into Piggy Stardust. Well, trust me, we'll get into Piggy Stardust. So, Stefan's house kind of worked kind of like everyone had their own job to do. Like, oh, you would do the cooking, you would do the cleaning for the bedrooms, you would do the laundry, you would do XYZ, you would help Stefan with his business, stuff like that. Everyone would have a job, so it wasn't just, oh, everyone was just, lying back, being lazy, being a feedie and stuff like that, being fed food all the time. It wasn't that, right? So with that, the house was pretty organized, and all the girls described it as a sisterhood they didn't know that they needed, and everything like that. And that's awesome. It looked like there was a good sense of community. There was a good sense of um reliance on each other. And if you didn't grow up with a supportive friend group, or didn't grow up with a supportive atmosphere around you, all of a sudden you have these people around you that are so supportive, so loving, accept you who you are, because they look like you, bigger bodies and everything like that. And it was kind of sad, because you realize these women just never had the positive attention. They never had the positive reinforcement. And so oh my god. So the Dr. Chris, I want to say Donahue, but I have a feeling that may or may not be wrong. I apologize if it's not. We're going to go over this at the very end, because this goes into, I want to bring up my own experience as a person who's um I gained weight because of PCOS, or well, PMOS now, because they changed the name recently. But this goes into something I would like to talk about, and be a little bit vulnerable on my own experiences as well. Um, so basically, Stefan would do that, and he would he claims that it's not a cult. He claims that it's not oh, I don't, want this to be like a harem or anything. I don't want this to be, um, I don't manipulate people. That's not my thing. I can't manipulate people. Yeah, let that sink in for a minute. He says he doesn't, hold on. He says he doesn't have the time to manipulate people. He doesn't, yeah. Stefan was interested as well, and he asked if he was a cult leader. Of course, he said no. I couldn't be a cult leader even if I wanted to. Manipulating people is not my thing. So he goes on to say after that a 6-foot woman that is 500 plus pounds is his thing. That's the thing that gets him going. He likes that body type, and it is perfectly okay to have a preference towards a certain body type and everything, but not be a feeder, because a feeder literally is feeding somebody food until they die. And what irritated me with him, and yes, I know that I spelt Stefan's name wrong. It's with an A and not an O, but I feel like being a little bit disrespectful, so I'm gonna be a little bit disrespectful and spelled his name like that in some parts, because I tried to go back and fix it, and I was like, it's not worth it. So he had an emphasis, I noticed, on being in the pool, having their skin exposed, having their stomach exposed, having their thighs, their butts especially. There were a lot of clips of Stefan. So he would be in the middle. All the women would encircle him and press their chest and stomach kind of on him. And they kind of spin around and everything. And it's just like, ha ha ha, they're laughing and everything. And I was like, that's disturbing. That is deeply disturbing. This man is so getting off to, being touched by you all. And, I don't know how much of it was consented. But Emily stated in the beginning, because Emily, she was a journalist who was a part of Paradise for a little bit. She's a photographer, journalist out of New Orleans, and she messaged to Stefan and went to go, take pictures for Paradise and everything. And she watched Paradise content and everything, so she was actively there and everything like that. And she thought it was just for the body positivity and everything. She thought it was just a house of love and acceptance, and not a feederism house and everything like that. But I mean, in a sense, I feel like these girls probably realized what was happening and was just in denial about it all. If that makes sense. I'm not shaming anybody for anything. Like, truly. Truly, this was horrible. They didn't consent to most of this stuff, I will say. But so basically, um, they all have like something that Stefan kind of realizes he can manipulate and twist into anything he wants, right? Um, so he does that. Again, I'm not going to go over all of my notes and everything. I can figure out how to put this link into the description for you guys so that way you can go read these yourself and everything. I just want to quickly touch over everything that I thought was interesting. Again, sorry for being repetitive, but this just, you know, I'm going under the guides that I'm very uncomfortable. Uh, so, he had his Stefan had his inner circle of girlies in the house. His inner circle were I'm going to pronounce some of these names horribly wrong, and I am so sorry. I am terribly sorry. Uh, Azay, Carissa, Shay. I think this is the same Shay that sadly passed away. I think so. Audrey and Heather. So they each had their roles in the house and everything like that. They all had something to say. There was also another girl, Ivy. There was a lot of people that were touched, like, spoke up and everything. So Heather had this, so Stefan had an interesting scale. He had the weight scale. And, you know, I'm nervous about scales about myself too. I don't even own one because I'm terrified of making this toxic relationship with it, right? But in the Paradise House, apparently the scale was something that was, you know, not a good thing, not a bad thing. It was kind of just something that lived in the house, right? So it stayed in the house, and Heather, who was there and kind of, you know, up in the notes and everything, she was described as the Kris Jenner of the house. So she was kind of the main girly, help at everything at the time. Um, so she told us that Stefan could actually look at a woman and tell he was usually about 5 to 10 pounds off, but could guess her weight just from her appearance. And yeah, it just it just rubs me a wrong way if you can do that. And it's different if you're like a medical professional and everything like that, and you've experienced different people and like helped them through their medical journey of whatever it is. It's different when you have that. You get what I mean. If you're a doctor, you've seen all different types of bodies. So in that regard, I don't think in a medical sense that's weird. But for Stefan, it's really weird because context matters. So Heather goes on to say that she wasn't really even comfortable weighing herself in front of her ex-boyfriend of 10 years. Like, the girls were comfortable with Stefan to a degree. They all were comfortable with Stefan. He had this inviting energy to him, like love and support, and he would tell them they're beautiful, that he would give them little assuring touches and everything. It goes back into the whole like, oh, I want to be loved and I want to be accepted, and Stefan is giving that to me. And a lot of these girls are settling for someone like Stefan because of they've never been properly accepted in their lives. They've never been told they're beautiful. They've always been told, oh, you're such a pretty face if you lose weight. And like, that's tragic and everything. And I agree. Before my partner, my current partner, I've never been told I was beautiful, before that. In this video, I'm going to get a little bit real. I'm going to get a little bit emotional because this kind of hit a little too close to home, but I feel like it's very important to talk about. But so the girls, they they bravely talked about their situations and everything. And Savvy, I want to say it's Savvy. I could be wrong. I'm so sorry if it's not. But she was about 19 to 20 year old, like 20 years old. So at the time, Emily was the second oldest in the house. I assume Stefan's the oldest, but she was 31, and Savvy was 19 to 20 years old, and she was flirting with Stefan through. Um, Let me fix that. Sorry, guys. Um, she was flirting with Stefan through the not the TikTok, but the Discord server that he had for Paradise and everything like that. And so she decided, after a while of flirting back and forth with him, she would go and visit Paradise and everything and stay there for like a mini vacay or whatever. So she did that, and the first night she was naked in the pool, and that's when everyone, after the live streams would go off, that's when all the girls took off their bathing suits and everything and would swim and everything naked and all that kind of stuff. So it was kind of one of those things where, you don't really understand Paradise until the cameras are off. So yeah, it was all in the name of body positivity and everything, and totally not his fetish or anything. So, excuse me, I'm drinking my Red Bull while doing this. So everything was fine with that. He took a picture of everybody's naked bodies. And, I don't know if he posted it. I don't know what he did with it, but that made Savvy uncomfortable. That made her so uncomfortable. And that was the first of her boundaries being disrespected. So the next night, she was laying on the couch and he grabbed her butt. And, the non-con touching, I don't agree with, period. I don't agree with that. That's horrible. That shouldn't happen to anybody. You should not grab anybody. You do. No one has the right to anyone's body, And so, another night she goes into the fact that he goes into her bedroom and he lifts up her shirt, starts touching her stomach, and she's very uncomfortable. And obviously she's terrified and she doesn't want him to do that. She asks him to please stop because it's scaring her. And he stops, but he was angry. He was mad. He got so pissy. And he left. And there was a whole thing that it felt like she needed to get the hell out of the house and everything. She felt like she wasn't wanted. So Kimmy, back to Piggy Stardust, right? She was 38 years old. She was a supporter of Paradise and everything. I don't believe that she was a part of Paradise and everything like that. I don't think she was, but she was kind of like, oh, it's body positivity. It's a supportive household and everything like that, where big girls can go and party and not feel ashamed of their body and stuff like that. She had no idea that Stefan was a creep, and Kimi, she and Savvy were talking, and Savvy bravely told Kimi that, hey, Stefan touched me and Stefan did this, and it opened up a whole can of worms about SA allegations and the non-consensual stuff happening in that house. Sex was not expected. Like, you didn't go into the Paradise house and expect you had to sleep with Stefan, but it was kind of an unspoken rule. And Emily mentions that she was the only one who didn't, at the time that she was aware of, didn't have sexual relations with Stefan, and everything like that. So yeah, sex was expected, but it felt like an unspoken rule. So there was a lot of good. I recommend you go and watch it. I recommend you guys go and watch this and everything. Again, I'm not trying to make this like a super long video or anything, but so there was a sex therapist, Dr. Chris Donahue. Again, could be saying that wrong, so sorry. But this is the part of the video I'm going to be a little bit vulnerable with you guys. And I'm going to share my experiences with you as a person who is a little bit chunkier and stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong with that, especially because PCOS or PMOS, excuse me, I'm still getting used to calling it that. And how this documentary kind of made me feel and everything like that, as far as being a bigger person. I don't weigh that much. I'm probably like 180. It used to be like 200 pounds or something like that. I don't weigh myself on the frequent. I kind of just clean up my eating. I move a little bit more, and slowly I've lost weight and everything like that. And it's been a journey. It really has. And this documentary made me feel better about my journey, and how really reminded me these women are beautiful. They're all beautiful. They have amazing personalities, and they're all so special. And a creep like Stefan is taking away their light and their beautiful spark because of what he's doing to them. And it hurt. And it was just, you could tell these women, whenever they were talking, they were just uncomfortable and really just wanting to get their story out there, help other women see that this isn't normal and stuff like that. And it was truly touching. It really was. And it was really emotional. And so I'm just going to go over a little bit of these bullet points, and I really hope that we get more from Dr. Chris and everything like that. I hope we get more of his input, because I feel like this is very this is a subject that I think that should be handled with the professionalism of someone who's qualified and everything like that. So he talks about self-esteem and how the sense of community is very important. We touched on that. And it's very important. Talks about the feelings of the women and how they feel, how this I'm so sorry, guys. I wrote these in kind of a hurry. How this is their only chance to be loved. Again, I never was told I was beautiful until my partner told me. So I understand that. So, so they're settling for less. They're settling for someone like Stefan. They're settling because they feel like they don't deserve better. And it's hard. It really is. It's really hard to break out of that whole mold of I'm not worth anything because I'm in a bigger body. I'm not the standard of beauty. No one's gonna sought out someone like me. And then there's someone like Stefan who is, attracted to bigger bodies, but in a very negative light, and Veterism, I think, should be classified as murder, because Stefan went on and said that as long as it's between two consenting adults, that's fine. But if you're actively feeding somebody to death, there's a problem. So people with body issues and food insecurities can fall victim to feeders. That is something that is very understandable. If you already have these massive insecurities and everything, it could be, hey, you like to eat, and I like to watch people gain weight. Why don't we enjoy each other's company, sort of thing. And it's a very manipulative sort of cycle for feeders and feedies. Having sensitive parts of ourselves, like with the Paradise Girls, having their stomachs touched and messed with could trigger a trauma response. So he kind of spoke about having that sensitive part of yourself. And so, some people, it might be their chest, it might be their stomach, it might be their thighs, it might be their butt. you never know. It could just be whatever part of their body and everything. And if you have an insecurity around it, your brain could trigger a trauma response as to having it touched and everything, because it's just a sensitive part of yourself. You may not like that part about yourself. And, having somebody go out of their way, touch it all the time. Like Stefan, he would be grabby with the girls. Like he would feel entitled to grab them, to stroke them, to touch their stomachs, to touch their chest, to touch their butt, their thighs, and especially like their arms and everything. He would like move their, like if they were wearing a tank top or something, he would move back the like the straps and everything. And especially on a girl named Ivy, she has beautiful tattoos on her shoulders and everything, and he was like moving her clothing to help show him, but he kept looking down at her chest, and like she was even uncomfortable with it, I feel, and everything like that. And it just, like, these poor women like ignored the fact that they were so uncomfortable because they were so desperate for love and attention and acceptance and community. And it really just felt so sad, and talks a little bit about peer pressure. I really hope that Dr. Chris has more to add into the situation. I felt like his input wasn't really focused on as much as the other girls, which totally understand it. Those girls deserve to have a spotlight on their experiences, spotlight to have everything they have to say should be able to be in the spotlight, you know? But, I'm going to real talk at the very end of this. So, I'm a bigger person, and I can't go clothes shopping. It sounds a little bit dramatic, but, it was a couple months ago that, about a year ago, I went jean shopping with a friend of mine, and I was looking through all the jeans. We were at like an Old Navy or something, and I was looking through the jeans and everything, and I just started crying, and everything. They had my size and everything. I don't really. It depends on the brand and everything, but I can always find my size pretty much and everything. But I haven't been able to take myself clothes shopping in a very long time. It's been a problem, and I have the same laundry basket of clothes since I was 18, and it's about like it's like the same 5-6 shirts and a bunch of like Walmart leggings and everything that are kind of falling apart, pants that I picked up here and there, like from another friend of mine that their clothes happen to fit and everything like that. But I broke down and just started crying, and they came back and everything after finding their jeans and everything, and they were like, "Oh my god, are you okay?" And I kind of just told them like, "Hey, I can't go clothes shopping. I can't really do this makes me uncomfortable. It makes me sad, and it makes me so nervous." And they let me talk. They let me share my experience. They let me kind of get out what I needed to and everything. And I'm grateful to have the support and the sense of friendship and belonging that I do around my friends, and especially my partner. I'm getting a little emotional. It's been hard, trying to love myself and trying to tell myself I'm worth it lately. Um, it was really hard watching this and kind of relating to some of the things that the girls were saying, and how, you know, I wouldn't ever dare to join something that, you know, like Paradise or anything. Like even the Discord, I was just thinking about it, and I'm like, that really seems fishy with Stefan. But knowing that I have the support around me and everything like that, and knowing that I have somebody who loves me for me and goes out of their way to try and find me clothes that they think I would enjoy and everything. My partner spoils me with that. They go to thrift stores and everything, and they find me interesting clothes and everything like that, like especially dresses and things like that, because I'm trying. um I used to the best way to explain this is my partner. I was recently talking about this, that my partner made me learn to love the color pink again. They made me realize that having those moments of being like loving Barbie pink stuff, loving bedazzled stuff, loving all that kind of stuff, it's not a bad thing. And being like feminine is not a bad thing. And I enjoy, like, my the same friend I went to go buy jeans with bought me this beautiful pink cup, um a big pink tumbler that I needed because it actually holds the cold and everything. So um but yeah, I'm it just made me think about how grateful I am for the support around me. um I, especially in my junior and senior year, when I started gaining weight and everything like that, because PCOS is a hormonal issue, and I have insulin resistance. I've mentioned that before. It really makes you gain a lot of weight, and it's really hard to lose it. And my body started changing when I was about a junior or sophomore in high school. And the comments about, because I used to be a cross country runner, I had to stop because my shin splints were getting too painful. I could barely walk all the time. I had a limp. I pushed my body too far, and I it was really interesting. And then, COVID happened, and everyone kind of gained a little weight during that time too. But it was hard. It was very hard. It was something I, like, didn't really know what was happening to me at the time. And granted, I wasn't eating the best either, but um it affected me because people's comments, because I was told, "Oh wow, you gained weight. You look different from the last time I saw you." And um it I'm not going to say everything that I was told and everything, because some of it was just, you don't really say that to a person. Um, but stuff like that. And so I really related to these girls. I really related to, you know, wanting that acceptance, wanting that love and everything. And I ended up being in a relationship for a year, a loveless relationship for a year, because I really wanted to try and make it work when he was just no longer interested. And I found out a bunch of things about him later, but you know, um it was really hard, relating to all that kind of stuff and reopening those wounds. And um I'm really happy that they did, because it really, really touched something in me, and it made me feel so grateful for the life that I'm living in, my support that I have and everything. So um sorry for tearing up. um who wasn't expecting that. I'm gonna end the video here. I'm doing fine. I'm good. I hope you're doing good as well. I'm gonna edit this down just a little bit, because I know I got really repetitive. I'm gonna put another feel good video, like a feel good link to a video that I enjoy and everything, so everyone else can decompress. I know I will. But yeah, I just really wanted to get this stuff out about Paradise and not really stress myself out about recording gameplay and doing all that kind of stuff. I was gonna make like a cutesy PowerPoint, and it just I don't got the patience. um, but yeah, forgive this for being a mess. Forgive me for your getting emotional. And I will go ahead and start part 2 and probably get that out in the next day or two. Probably break this up with like a foodie video or something like that, because I really would like to do another video besides Paradise for a minute. So yeah. Thank you for being here. Thank you for putting up with me sniffling and getting emotional at the end. Again, I am okay, and I hope you are too. You are loved, you are accepted, and you will always be appreciated here. Um, I send you all my love. I send you your pets all the love as well. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for the comments, the love, subscribe, the everything. Thank you. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you again. Bye.